At the end of the last part, we left off with Trunks opening the door to Dr. Mew's secret room. In this room was a chamber, and inside this chamber was some kind of machine. You could see wires and his body did look metallic, but it was unlike any other Dr. Mew creation we had seen up until this point. As Dr. Mew walks towards the chamber, he almost speaks to the machine with reverence. He apologizes to the machine for allowing people to see the machine before its completion. We soon learn from Trunks that this machine's name is Baby, and that it could very well become stronger than the Saiyans under the right circumstances. Trunks really shines in this section because he knows the most about Baby. He knows that Baby's creation is totally different from any other machine on M2. He knew about Dr. Mew's plan to destroy all other machines on M2 after Baby's completion, and even foils Baby's completion by rerouting his life support to, watch this, the plumbing system. But in all seriousness, I really like Trunks' character here. He was a lot like his father, confidently talking down to the opponent and staying a couple steps ahead. But just like his father, he would end up speaking too soon. Baby started to move inside of his chamber, then he started to grow. His lens began to fill out, his eyes opened, and then his signature laugh would reverberate throughout the room, and there he was. Baby was unleashed. And his first order from Dr. Mew, kill the Saiyans. But fortunately, Baby was at his weakest point, so a group blast from Goku, Pan, and Trunks was enough to seemingly kill the machine. With no other options, Dr. Mew decides that it would be best to retreat. But before he leaves, a little piece of Baby enters Dr. Mew. And while he's in space, Baby bursts out of Dr. Mew and kills him. We learned that Dr. Mew's entire scheme was actually orchestrated by Baby. This taught us a couple things. 1. Baby is unbelievably intelligent. 2. Baby is ruthless. He killed his creator without a second thought. And 3. Baby is a parasite and can invade people's bodies without them knowing. But for the time being, he is away from the Saiyans and Giru, so it's back to the search for the Dragon Balls. Oh, I should also mention that the Saiyans killed General Real though. The story didn't make a big deal out of it, so I won't either. While the group is flying through space, Giru detects that a Dragon Ball is dead ahead and it happens to be inside of a damaged ship floating through space. The group checks it out and obtains the Dragon Ball with ease, but they couldn't help but notice that the ship was completely wrecked from the inside and there wasn't anyone on board, except one person. A small boy who is unconscious and on the verge of dying. So the group makes their way to a planet called Pital, where the boy can get the medical attention he needs. But while the boy is laying in his hospital bed, he rises up and then has a smile on his face, and then an explosion comes from his room. It's clear what's going on here, and now it's just a matter of time before Baby reveals himself. As a matter of fact, Baby almost possessed Pan's body when she wasn't paying attention. If it weren't for Goku and Trunks coincidentally walking over to where she was, Pan would have definitely been possessed. With Pan's body no longer being a viable option, Baby possesses a doctor's body in an attempt to get Trunks alone. Once they are isolated, Baby then explains to Trunks that he planted that Dragon Ball on that ship. He killed all of those people in the plan to lure the Saiyans there. That plan deviates from what Dr. Mew was going for. Baby seems more interested with beating the Saiyans more than the Dragon Balls, and he was going about it pretty well. He had Trunks in a vulnerable position until Goku and Pan showed up, and then there wasn't anything Baby could do. With his current level of strength, he can't take on the three at the same time, so he causes an explosion that creates an open wound on Trunks' arm, and that is all Baby needs to possess Trunks' body. But it doesn't go as planned for Baby. Like his father, Trunks falls back against the one who tried to control him. He doesn't give the same proud speech that his father gave, but both Trunks and Vegeta regain complete control over their bodies after a loud scream while flaring their power up. Realizing that he was still too weak, Baby retreats. But this was a warning for the Saiyans. Baby would only get stronger from this point on. And even though he still was a very formidable threat, the number one goal for the Saiyans is to find the Black Star Dragon Balls, and that's what the group continues to do. But Baby makes his way to Earth, and he's still body hopping. He's asking different people where he can find the Saiyans, and he leaves nothing but destruction if he doesn't get the answer he's looking for. So one of Earth's strongest fighters comes face to face with Baby and just so happens to know something about the Saiyans. But this fighter, as strong as he is, can't do anything to Baby. Luckily, Goten happened to be in the city because he was on a date, and at first, he was reluctant in fighting. But after he figured out that this mysterious character knew about the Saiyans, Goten took the encounter seriously. But in this encounter, we witnessed that Baby's powers have expanded. He could now possess more than one person at a time, and it wasn't long after this where Baby finally reveals himself, and man has he changed. He isn't purple anymore, he now has clothes, he's significantly taller, and is much, much more powerful. Powerful enough to feel confident in taking on Goten with his own body, but that confidence soon goes away because Baby resorts to hiding in the rubble and cutting Goten's arm. Like he did with Trunks, Baby takes that chance to possess him. A possessed Goten goes back to Capsule Corp looking for Vegeta because with Goten's knowledge, Baby knows that Vegeta is the one Saiyan that will give him the power necessary to take down Goku. But instead of finding Vegeta, he runs into Gohan, who can sense that something is off with his brother. So they duke it out like brothers do, and it ends with Baby body hopping from Goten to Gohan. Somewhere else on Earth, we get a cool little scene with Vegeta the dad, taking his daughter shopping and keeping boys away from his daughter. And on the way back to Capsule Corp, a possessed Gohan stops Vegeta and Bulla, and we finally get some more info about Baby. He is a Tuffle, and from what was known up to this point, they seem like a race of people that the Saiyans wronged in the past. In their one-on-one matchup, Vegeta gets the best of a Baby-possessed Gohan, but Baby shows just how far he's come as Goten arrives on the battlefield and fights Vegeta with Gohan. Baby was now at the point where he could possess 2 Super Saiyans, but even they weren't enough for Vegeta once he unleashed his full power. But when he did, that is when Baby saw his opportunity. Baby had body hopped multiple times by this point, but this was the first time where he entered someone's body and changed their physical appearance. Vegeta's worst nightmare came true as his hair turned white and lines began to cover his face. In the last video, I said it was highly unlikely that Dr. Mew would ever be able to create a machine that could be as strong as a Saiyan. And he didn't, but this was pretty close. This character from this moment on would be known as Baby Vegeta, and his plan was revealed. He was going to turn all of Earth's citizens into Tuffles. I guess the silver lining in all of this was that Goku, Trunks, and Pan returned to Earth with all 7 Black Star Dragon Balls. They did it. They hand the Dragon Balls over to Dende and leave the Lookout having no clue what state the Earth was in, including the fact that they had just given the Dragon Balls to a Dende who was possessed by Baby. When Goku and Pan make it back to Mount Paozu, they meet a Chi-Chi and Videl who won't say anything and have the most emotionless expressions on their faces. Quite the opposite of a wife and mother who hadn't seen their family in nearly a year. Then back at Capsule Corp, Trunks is confronted by Baby Vegeta, and during this confrontation, Giru is killed. And this is another one of GT's biggest problems. I don't think the show gives the right amount of time for the death of important characters to impact the viewer the way it should. Giru shouldn't just die and then in 10 seconds we're at a different scene. Yes, Pan does come and see him later and has an emotional moment, but that doesn't change the actual scene where he died. Even with a character like General Rildo, who was a big antagonist for the group. After not seeing him for 2 or 3 episodes, Goku, Trunks, and Pan blast him away as they're leaving Planet M2. That's just something the writers could have done better at, but I don't want to act like it's all bad because this is the best arc of GT, and a big reason for that is the inclusion of the cast outside of Goku and Pan. Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Bulla, Boo, Mr. Satan, even Bulma through Baby's body hopping and just his overall journey to gaining more power, it gave every character an important role in the story, and I think that is something that has historically been a problem in Dragon Ball. Getting back to the story, Goku and Pan are in the house confused as to why Chi-Chi and Videl are so cold. Then they are met by Gohan and Goten, who literally blow the roof off the house. They injure Pan, and an enraged Goku in his base form beats both Gohan and Goten as Super Saiyans. But that's when Baby shows up, and Goku gets his first look at Baby Vegeta. He can sense just how strong he is, so he determines that in order to fight him, he must go all out. He had to use Super Saiyan 3, and this was terrible, I can't lie. I know Goku couldn't fight at his maximum because of his body, but the whole scene wasn't drawn or animated very well. Soon after Goku drops from Super Saiyan 3, he finds himself in a pile of rocks defenseless. Baby could have just blasted Goku away with his current power, but that wouldn't be very Dragon Ball of him. So he absorbs energy from all of the half Saiyans, and this yellow vest thing with crazy shoulder pads forms with extra lines appearing on his face and chest. Then Baby takes it one step further and gets energy from everyone on Earth. Baby grows taller, his hair gets longer, his skin changes color, his eyes change, he's wearing an entirely new outfit. I understand that this is still Vegeta's body, but this to me was a Baby-possessed Vegeta. This is something completely different, and his power was completely different too. Baby builds what looks like an evil spirit bomb and forces it down upon a defenseless Goku. With Goku out of the way, Baby summons Ultimate Shenron and wishes for the old planet Vegeta to be put in Earth's orbit, and that will serve as the Tuffle's new homeworld. Soon after that wish, Baby began transporting all of the humans to the new planet Vegeta. With his wish, Baby negated nearly a year's worth of work by Goku, Trunks, and Pan. You almost wish that they made Goku an adult if the Dragon Balls were going to be scattered across the galaxy again anyway. That way, Goku wouldn't have to be saved by Kibito Kai and accidentally dropped into a board game dimension. Sugoroku space is one of the very few places where Kai doesn't have any authority, so Goku has to win the game there in order to make it to the land of the Kais, which he does. Elder Kai suggests that Goku grind coffee beans as a source of training, which is weird, but this is the same guy who marched around Gohan in red magazines, which gave Gohan his biggest power boost to date. Back on Earth, Oob makes his first appearance in nearly 30 episodes, saving Pan from being killed by Gohan and then taking on Baby. Considering that Goku didn't stand a chance against Baby, it wasn't a surprise when Oob lost against Baby. But during their fight, Boo tells Hercule goodbye and that he'll never forget him. He goes on to save Oob from a deadly attack by Baby and then becoming one with Oob, creating Majub. A warrior definitely more suited for fighting Baby, but still no match. On the sacred world of the Kais, Goku learns that his tail is starting to grow back, but because of the current situation, he can't wait for it to grow back on his own. So guess what they do? They take a giant pair of pliers and try to pull his tail out. At first, he's tied to a rock where the Kais pull, then Elder Kai is tied to a rock while Goku tries to fly away, and that is what causes Goku's tail to grow back to its full length. An excited Goku rushes back to Earth with Kibito Kai, only to see Majub was being eaten by Baby, so Goku doesn't waste any time, transforming into a Super Saiyan 3 and attacking Baby with everything he has. And unlike their fight on Earth, Goku can maintain the form. The only problem is that Goku is still too weak, so Goku is knocked to the ground and realizes that this is as far as he can go. Goku looks up at the Earth and starts to think to himself, thinking about the road he's traveled so far and how it could possibly come to an end like this. And not just the journey for the Black Star Dragon Balls, but the very beginning. Thinking of those who have been at his side before he ever knew what a Saiyan was. He thought of his family who loved him through all of his crazy decisions and were a source of joy in his worst moments. He just thought about the Earth, the only planet he ever called home, and it hurt him deeply that he couldn't protect it. But Goku's heart started beating faster. Then boom. Goku sits up and he's going crazy. The surrounding landscape is destroyed, there's lightning, and Goku's screams quickly turn into the roar of a raging ape. Goku's face begins to change, his body is growing, and before you know it, he's a great ape. But this time was unlike any other great ape transformation. Instead of the normal brown hair, Goku becomes a golden great ape. And like any other time he's done this, Goku loses control and starts to destroy everything around him. That is, until Pan appears before him and cries out for her grandpa to remember who he is. And as a tear falls from Pan's face, Goku catches it and remembers everything. Yet again, Pan proves her worth in this show despite not having the highest power level, which is something I appreciate. Goku takes one last look at the Earth and it's almost as if he's reaching out to it to try to get back home. The platform Goku is standing on breaks and Pan worries about her grandfather. But when the smoke clears, we see what is easily the best aspect of Dragon Ball Z, Super Saiyan 4. A form unlike any of the three before it, and that adds to its appeal. When Goku takes on Baby now, he beats him with ease. With this new power and his adult body, Baby is no match. And in an attempt to try and close the new gap between the two, Baby has Bulma transform him into a great ape as well. This transformation did close the gap between the two, and at one point, they knocked each other out. It is here where Kibito Kai uses the sacred water from the lookout to free the half Saiyans from Baby's control. And their job was to pour their power into Goku so he could fight again at his full power. A ritual very similar to what Goku did to become a Super Saiyan God. Bulma uses the Blood Wave machine to restore Baby's strength, and he made his way back to Goku before he could absorb the energy he needed. But luck was on the Saiyan side, because Oob just so happened to still be alive inside of Baby, and it was causing Baby extreme pain, giving more time for Goku to absorb energy. But Baby spat out Oob, and fired a Galick gun at the Saiyans before Goku said he was finished. And when the dust settled, Gohan, Trunks, and Goten laid face down in their base forms, with Goku nowhere to be found. And just before Baby ends them, Goku gets his attention as he flew above the attack holding his granddaughter, and all of his wounds were healed. Their plan worked. A glowing red Goku now had the energy to beat Baby in his strongest form. Goku fires a Kamehameha that sends Great Ape Baby flying, and as he lies on the ground without his tail, his body begins to shrink. Baby is forced to leave Vegeta's body and scurries to a ship in an attempt to escape Earth, but Goku fires off a Kamehameha, sending Baby off into the sun. Baby was the living embodiment of the Saiyan sins of the past, so it's quite poetic that Goku has to use that same destructive power to beat Baby, an enemy who ended up adopting the same form as the barbarians he hated. After the Saiyans won, they freed the people of Earth from Baby's control and everything turned out fine. Except, the Earth was still going to explode soon. It seems like because Baby made a wish within a year since the last one, the timer for the Earth never reset. And with less than 2 weeks from Earth's destruction, there isn't enough time to go search for the Dragon Balls again. With the new planet Vegeta along with Bulma's ship, the Z-Fighters make a plan to transport everyone. And the plan was going well. Every ship on Earth assisted in the transport, and Goku used his Super Saiyan 4 to use instant transmission to move loads of people at once. But right before the planet is set to explode, there is one boy left on Earth that Goku goes to save. The boy's name is Danny. And when Goku finds him, he also finds Piccolo. But this was almost too good to be true. When Goku was getting ready to use instant transmission for the final time, he ran out of energy. He reverted to his base form, and with no energy left, he can't use instant transmission. That's when Piccolo gives Goku enough energy for one more instant transmission, and now everyone is saved. The boy hugs his parents, and as Goku smiles watching a family be reunited, he realizes Piccolo didn't make the trip with him. Piccolo decides to stay and die with the Earth. Without him, the Black Star Dragon Balls would turn to stone. This death was done right. Piccolo has one last conversation with Gohan, and when Piccolo tells him that he's going to die, Gohan responds by saying, "I don't want you to die." A selfish yet very understandable reaction, but Piccolo responds by saying, "Sometimes we have to look beyond what we want to do what's best." And Gohan couldn't say anything. He knew Piccolo was right. Piccolo tells Gohan how proud of him he is, that this decision was a product of the growth that resulted from knowing Gohan since he was a small child. And what Gohan did in Piccolo's dying moment was something he hadn't done since he was a child. Gohan cried. The Baby Saga ends very different than how it started. On Planet M2, Goku, Pain, and Trunks were alone in space fighting machines to save their planet. And by the end, Goku, his family, and all of his friends are at Capsule Corporation having a party. I hate to say that GT goes downhill from here, but if you've watched it before, then you know I'm right. I just don't think any other saga in this show had a better villain, a better story, and more character involvement than this one. These are the characters who I think are important in the Black Star Dragon Ball saga, and these are the characters who are important in the Baby Saga. It's night and day. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about the Baby Saga. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video or any of the other ones you've seen on my channel, please leave a like and subscribe. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers and everyone counts. With that being said, this is BigTune and thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.